everyone else knows and put a system around it. And that's what I want to share with you guys today. I'm going to talk to you guys about something that hardly anyone knows, okay? And because of you guys going to know it today, it's going to take your understanding and your business to a whole nother level. So let me give you guys an example. Okay, how many of you have heard of Novus Seclorum Ordo? Okay, I'm not going to be able to, you guys are bringing these access to recordings. I can't do that right now. I'm trying to give you guys some training here, so this will be in the back office. Okay, I know that Bridget does that with her team and things of that nature, but I can't do that and continue to train, so I won't be able to give everyone access to the recording today. Okay, we'll put it in the back office. So having said that, you guys. Anyone out on the line ever heard of Novus Ordo Seclorum? Anybody? Okay. How many of you guys on the line are really serious about creating wealth and really want to make a whole lot of money? Show of hands. A lot of you, right? Right? So you need to know what that word is, because everybody wants to get wealthy, but no one really understands money. I want you guys to understand on the back of the dollar bill, you see Novus Ordo Seclorum, and then Annuit Coeptis, all right? Basically, what that stands for, Novus Ordo Seclorum, I did my due diligence many years ago about money because I was having a conversation with Douglas about, my evolution in this space. And money controls our lives so much, and it's amazing how people want to make a whole lot of money. It dictates the quality of our life, but they know absolutely nothing about it, and it's printed on it in broad daylight. It basically stands for New World Order, the order of the ages. And what's more important to that is I want you guys to see here, it looks like a pyramid to me with the eye of providence looking at you. I want to share that with you guys because people tend to talk about, is it one of these pyramid deals? No, we're not actually a pyramid. We're an inverted process. But do you guys realize that when people say that it's really acknowledging their lack of financial intelligence, that they haven't taken the time to really understand the new world order of things, okay? And the Annuit Coeptis means God favors this, okay, basically. So these are the things that I want you to understand, that our entire financial infrastructure is a pyramid. Hello. This is a truth that hardly anyone knows about, and this whole concept of a pyramid is keeping people broke. We want to dispel this myth today, and I'm going to share some things with you guys to help you guys understand why what we're doing in terms of building a bank on the blockchain is literal. Take what we're going to share with you literally. So having said that, let me go ahead and share my screen here real quickly. And we're going to really break some things down here. Okay? Get my PowerPoint there. So today what we're going to be talking about is I want everyone to pull in here. I know we may have a couple guests on the line as well. We have new members that's on the line here. I want each and every one of you to understand, allow us to provide you today with a fast track to reaching $10,000 a month in residual cash flow by investing 8 weeks of your time instead of months or years. What a lot of people don't understand is that we have three currencies. Most people think of only money, and money is not even the most important currency that we have access to. We actually have three currencies. There's time, there's money that many of us know about, and then there's knowledge. Please write this down. Anytime you need one of those, use the other two to get it. So in other words, if you need more knowledge, use the currency of time and money to gain more knowledge, right? If you need more money, use the currency of time and knowledge to gain more money. Well, if you need more time, use the currency of money and knowledge to gain the time and freedom that you so desperately want to have in your life, right? And so money is the least important of these currencies. Time is our most precious asset, and then gaining knowledge. And that's what I'm going to share with each and every one of you today. So we're going to be showing each and every one of you how we can all be our own bank. But we're doing it by building it with better fundamentals. And the reason why I started up asking you guys if you knew what Novus Ordo Seclorum was is because you need to understand the nature of money. You need to understand the nature of our financial ecosystem, the centralized financial ecosystem, because when you understand it and you look at what we're offering to the masses around the world, it is a mind blower, you guys. This is by far the greatest project on the face of planet Earth today. The timing is absolutely perfect. So as you guys see this gentleman on this screen here, you need to be having Zooms and conducting meetings with people to let them know that you're building a bank and that they can be a part of it. And we're doing it with building better fundamentals. Now, the key word is building. What we're doing is we're looking for, you don't have to be guru qualified to do this. What we are doing is we're looking for builders. We're not even looking for influencers, okay? Because influencers are like thermometers. They just take the temperature. They go to the next hype train. Once that fades out, they go to the next hype train. Builders are something different, okay? Because in business, you don't build the business, you build people. And by default, the business builds. So for those of you that are new to this space, that may not understand blockchain and all that kind of stuff, we're going to show you how to open up your own crypto exchange account, things of that nature. And guess what happens? You've built your value because now you understand something that maybe your closest friends and family don't understand. See, when you learn something new, you become qualified to help the person you used to be. So what we're doing is we're looking for builders that aren't guru qualified, but are basically able to help us build this global network, the plumbing, if you will, by simply assigning 3 activation tokens to 3 entities, strategic partners, whether it's an individual, church, or charity, one time, who turns around and do the exact same thing. And as a consequence of duplicating this very, very simple process and system that anyone that can fuck up a mirror can do, we build the plumbing, we build the financial infrastructure, we build our own bank on the blockchain. Now, in order for you to really appreciate this, you guys, I want to play this video for you. I want you guys to really understand your current bank's fundamental business model, okay? Listen and hang on to every word that this gentleman is saying about him being a bank. It's going to blow you away.
Well, I'm a bank, Brian, and I borrow money and I lend it out, and I charge more to the people I'm lending it to than I pay to the people from whom I'm borrowing it.
Well, who do you borrow money from?
Well, from, depositors, Brian. Have you got $1? Well, I
sure.
borrow your $1 and I give you, there's your bank balance.
$1?
$1.
Right, okay, and you pay interest to me on that?
I do, but I also charge you fees.
Well, why do you charge me fees?
Because, Brian, I'm looking after your money. Your money is secure with me. I'm a bank. I mean, this is a very important amount of money. This is probably your nest egg. It's safe with us.
And how much interest do you pay me?
Approximately the same as I'm charging you in fees.
Oh, good deal for me.
Well, your money's secure with us, Brian, and I then lend that money to businesses, and those businesses generate income. This is how we build an economy.
Yeah. And they put that income into the bank.
They do, of course, Brian, and that builds the savings pool, and we can invest more money.
Well, who do you lend that to?
Well, the people who need credit, Brian. You see, money creates more money, so if we can create money that creates more money, we're broadening the economy, we're expanding it all the time.
Yeah. But shouldn't people just buy they can afford?
You don't need to afford the things you're buying, Brian. You need to afford the interest on the money you need to borrow in order to buy them.
Do people need to be buying these things that they can't afford?
Obviously, they think so, Brian. I mean, these things are advertised to people as very necessary, very important, and deeply, deeply attractive.
Well, who's advertising things that people don't need?
The companies we're lending the money to.
Wow. Think about that for a moment, you guys. This is how our banking infrastructure works, right? So let me show you guys how we're rebuilding banking with better fundamentals because of blockchain. Last week, we talked about the timing, right? We talked about how the internet had its first start back in the early 90s, and Jeff Bezos was $1 million from Amazon not even existing. And he had to go to some investors. He had 60 meetings. 40 of them said no, about 20 said yes. But everyone's question was back then, well, what's the internet? Many people's question right now is, well, what's blockchain? It's the internet of value. and it's basically disrupting the whole financial ecosystem. We are the tip of the spear of rebuilding banking with better fundamentals. We're busting up the monopoly, if you will. So I want you guys to look at it from this perspective here. When you look at a traditional bank, because sometimes people say, well, Greg, or they ask you, well, how are you guys building a bank? You know, that's like, what do you mean? Because we don't have a physical bank and we don't have bankers? It's like someone saying, well, how is Uber a taxi cab company, right? But Uber is a taxi cab company. It just has better fundamentals. They remove the middle person. They remove the dispatcher in the equation, and it connected drivers to passengers and allowed people to monetize their own vehicles. Okay? Well, how is Airbnb a hotel and hospitality company, right? Well, what did they do? They removed the need of a middle person in the form of a travel agent and connected hosts to guests, and people were able to monetize their real estate, right? So what I want you guys to understand is decentralization is where it's at right now. We live in an age of abundance. So when you look at a traditional bank, they own and control our deposits, as he alluded to in the video. But it's a liability when it sits in their account, because all a bank is a building that houses what? Digital wallets. That's it, right? So they can't make money by just holding your money. They have to then take your deposits. They loan all of our deposits out at interest without the need of our permission, because when you give your money to a bank, they now have custody of that money, and that empowers them through fractional reserve lending to loan it out at interest without your permission. In return for them doing these loans with our deposits with interest on it, they keep the residual cash flow from the monthly loan payments, right? Think about that for a moment. They loan our money out at interest, and obviously people have to pay those loans back, which creates residual cash flow for them. Now, they're supposed to be giving us money, on our money, but we all know it doesn't keep up with the rate of inflation. And like the video alluded to, the fees eat that up anyway, right? Let's go to our co-op wallet and what we saw with Smarter Than Money when we started doing this. We own our deposits. It's an asset. The $28, I want you guys to think about this for a moment. Those are deposits. The $28 subscriptions, that is like deposits. They're also like micro loans. I want to give you guys perspective here. They say perception is reality, right? So we can't say loans, but I want you guys to look at it from that perspective. We microloan our $28 subscription to 10 members. That $28, we like to say we make a dollar holler. That $28 is broken up every 28 days, and 10 people receive residual escalating deposits in their own co-op wallet account. Remember, we don't have to do this one time in terms of activating 3 accounts. Make sense? Now, in return for doing that, rather than in the bank, they keep the residual cash flow. In return, we receive escalating residual cash flow from our quote unquote micro loans we make with our subscription, ladies and gentlemen. We completely remove the middle person, the middleman, the centralized bankers and things of that nature. That's the power of blockchain. Once again, everything is going blockchain of value, whether it's currency, banking, real estate transactions, everything is going blockchain. There's no limits on our daily withdrawal amounts. You make money today, you can withdraw tomorrow, just keep the $28 in there to maintain your subscription and your account being active to continue to receive escalating residual cash flow. And no limits on your monthly withdrawals as well. Make sense, everybody? You guys see the difference here of centralized versus decentralized. And you can start to see why the incumbent, the centralized monopoly, there's some fear associated with people becoming educated about the nature of Novus Ordo Seclorum, which is Latin for New World Order. This is the order of things. So I want you guys to understand that with our co-op wallet, we're able to be our own bank, you guys. A bank without bankers, a bank without a physical location, remotely, So what we're doing here as a global community, specifically a privately ran cooperative, we're creating a more diversified global economy, reducing the reliance on centralized financial mechanisms. You guys understand that? Things like Bitcoin and things of that nature came about in 2009. Why did it come out in 2009? Because of what happened in 2008 when Wall Street was bailed out and mainstream wasn't. People started losing trust in the centralized banking system. So the blockchain, for those of you that are new to this, everything is going there. It's radically changing the future of transaction-based industries. We get to own the track without betting on the horses, team. Let your friends, your family, your churches, your charities understand the state of affairs here. They just don't know what they don't know. Make sense? Now, our purpose is to build a worldwide network that's going to deliver the promise of scalable passive residual cash flow for our global partners. And that's just phase one. Remember, we're building the plumbing. We're going to be putting up the studs, the foundation, and we're going to be able to overlay other innovations and projects that are decentralized on top of our bank. Do you understand that we can come together globally as a community and buy land together, buy buildings together, okay, invest in other innovative processes together, because guess what? We're going to be able to pull that money from our own bank that we've built because of blockchain decentralization. So we're going to have money pumping through everyone's cooperative wallet by completing the 2 smart steps. How many times? 1 time. Getting people on a predictable income escalator. So I'm going to go ahead and play this short video that people that have been around, they've seen this before, but since we have so many people that are joining our movement in terms of what it is that we're doing, I think it's appropriate that I share this with you guys, this short video done by Mark Yusko. He's a billionaire, he's a hedge fund manager, and he breaks down blockchain so eloquently, because we're talking about moving from Web 1, which was just read, and went to Web 2, which was read and write, to Web 3, which is blockchain, read, write, and verifiably trust without the need of a middle intermediary. Check this out, you guys.
So Web 2 is read-write. So now we could interact, but the problem with read-write is the people in charge of it, the centralized authorities, are the ones that made all the money. Now, Web 3, we the people, get to own. It turns out Filecoin and other things are involved in that.
And just understand that Web 3.0, meaning you can read, write, and verifiably trust, will impact every aspect of our online lives. It's just the masses haven't quite realized yet.
Big statement. Blockchain will usher in a period of unprecedented wealth creation. More wealth will be created by blockchain technology than any technology in the history of mankind. Big statement. Decentralization of trust, value flowing without intermediaries. We liberate $7 trillion a year that's stolen from us by banks, insurance companies, brokers, auditors, accountants. No offense to the people, but it's stolen. Blockchain will completely revolutionize financial services the same way the internet revolutionized media and commerce. All the values, be it ABC, NBC, CBS, now it's all at Netflix because of the internet. All the values be in mom and pop stores, now it's at Amazon because of internet. Same thing happens. All the value from JP Morgan and all the global banks is going to blockchain. It's going to be the beating heart of the new financial system. Do we really need banks? Anyone been in a bank ever? Like, really? Why would anyone go in a bank? You can do it all on your phone. No one gets a mortgage from, in the old days, you had a banker and you went to their office and they gave you coffee, you got a toaster, and great. But that's not what we do now. We use our phone. And in fact, 40% of people in the world, 40% of adults in the world don't have a bank account. But they got cell phones. We can deliver financial services through their cell phone, through blockchain technology.
Okay? So you guys need to understand where we sit in this moment in time. So for people that want to know, well, what is blockchain? They're going to know what blockchain is 10, 20, 30 years from now. But because we're the tip of the spear and we're pioneering this, do you guys understand that we're going to be able to write our own tickets financially, liberating and breaking up the monopoly? We're rebuilding with better fundamentals. So once again, for those of you that want to become wealthy, and people tend to say, well, it looks like one of those pyramid things. It's mind-boggling that so many, and Charles, what I'm saying to my head and not my heart, this is about defibrillating our thought process here. People have to stop repeating things without understanding the nature of where they live right now. It's on the dollar bill. They're telling you in broad daylight, this is the Wizard of Oz here. And the centralized bank are the Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. They're able to print money out of thin air. Make sense? So when you have a centralized banking system, okay, it's top down. That's the pyramid. It can be oppressive. You have to ask for permission in order to move up. Someone has to die or get fired. You become too big to fail because it's a single point of authority. That's why Wall Street was bailed out in 2008 and not Main Street, because Wall Street and the centralized banking authorities are too big to fail. Blockchain is breaking that up. It's decentralizing this, you guys. We're talking about bottom up, rising up, human liberty. Look at all the room at the top. And as anything leaves its origin, it gets wider and wider and wider. I hope you guys are seeing the difference in understanding the value proposition of what we have our hands on here. This is much bigger than any one of us may even realize. And my goal today is to help you understand the value of what we have our hands on. This is not a Rudy Poot fly-by-night operation, okay? It's going to continue to get gooder and gooder and gooder, okay, as we like to say. We're rebuilding with better fundamentals. You guys choose. So, having said that, what we're talking about doing here, right? Keep it simple. We complete the 2 smart steps one time. Create 3 free co-op wallet accounts. We know how to do that. And we simply assign a token to 3 in 7 days or less one time. This has to be done, right? And so what ends up happening here is we give the 3 tokens to 3 people one time, and it puts them on the escalator, and it moves you to $35 predictably, right? When they turn around and complete the 2 smart steps, how many times? One time. It puts their people on the escalator, moves them to $35 as a thank you, and automatically, independent of your involvement, up to $47 in residual cash flow. And remember, because our subscription is every 28 days, we get paid 13 times a year. So that's $47 right now at 13 times a year. And then as this duplicates, you're going to naturally go to 96 as your 3 strategic partners go to 47. And then naturally go to 258 as your 3 strategic partners go to 96. And all the way up the escalator, and we're talking about $13,423, 8 weeks. Now that's moving slow. We have people, enrolling 3 accounts within an hour. It can be 8 hours and the numbers will still be the same. 8 days and the numbers can still be the same. So what we have here, you guys, please understand, we have a predictable income escalator that creates an infinite success line. I want you guys to really marinate on that real quickly. Predictable, right? One of the reasons why people will quit on their goals and dreams is because, and go back to a job that they were trying to get away from, is because of the predictable nature of a paycheck, right? They know that they're going to get that paycheck. But the problem is they're not really conscious that that paycheck is already spent in the form of residual bills. That's why they have to continue to do it over and over and over again. And that's what they're feeling. That's why they're looking for a better solution. But it's so easy to go back to your comfort zone of trading hours for dollars. But the value of a job, which stands for just over broke, is the predictability of a paycheck, right? Well, we solved that here. This is a predictable. You do this one time in 7 days or less, you're at 35. And the story is the story for everyone. They'll go to 35 and you go to 47. You have to at least get on the escalator, right? And then once you get on the escalator one time, the automation takes you up. That's why we say escalator. And it creates an infinite success line. We're not MLM or network marketing in that vein. We don't have an up line or down line. I've always disliked that terminology. It ain't about looking up or down on anyone. We have a success line. Everyone can be successful by completing the 2 smart steps one time ever. Hopefully you guys are starting to understand and grasp the weight and magnitude of where we sit in this moment in time in history. We're talking about the greatest mass distribution of wealth in our lifetime. We have what? We have rides on demand because of what? Uber, right? We have hospitality on demand because of Airbnb. We have food on demand because of DoorDash and things of that nature. Ladies and gentlemen, we now have money on demand. Do you understand what I'm saying to you? To be in a position to wake up when you get through sleeping, right? And you're living your day. It blows me away when I see people with their loved ones and everyone's like an ostrich with their head in the sand in their phone, going through social media, looking at everyone else's lifestyle, all of these different things. That blows me away. The only time I like to really go on my phone is to go ahead and hit the refresh button to see my deposits increasing throughout the day. But I'm living my life. The same thing can happen for you because we have location freedom, right? You're not tied down to a desk or a building because you have access to the internet and the blockchain, right? Then you have the time freedom because of the scalable residual income. And then the financial freedom that comes along with this beautifully ran process. People, this is the greatest project on the face of planet Earth today. Now, let's talk about barrier of entry, right? We're talking about a low barrier of entry of about $125. Here's what you guys got to understand is that when it comes to, if you don't have a whole lot of money to play with, that you're ready to risk, right? We get that, right? We understand that people are robbing Peter to pay Paul, so they can't put in, some people can't even afford 500, 1,000. They definitely can't afford 20 or 30 or 50 or $100,000 for a traditional business, many people. So it's a low barrier of entry. So when you don't have a lot of money, then what you have to do is you have to make up for it in speed and time. Time is your currency. You pay instead. So don't lollygag with this. Move quickly to get your 3 wallet accounts activated. Because the barrier of entry is so low, you make up and make the big money through speed, and time is your currency at that moment in time. Remember, you have 3 currencies in life: time, money, and knowledge. I'm sharing some knowledge with you, based on evaluated experience that was shared with me with people that were generous enough to share with me that has impacted my life. This works as advertised, right? So all brand new members, get it out the way. Now, the reason why we say in 7 days or less is because we definitely want you to have that happen before your 28-day subscription comes back around again. We want this to be a one-time out-of-pocket. And we're talking about getting 3 people on the escalator, using the exact science. Once again, they don't have to like it, they just have to use it. There's so much that we do in our life that we don't like. Many people are going to dead-end jobs they don't have a passion for. They don't like it, but they do it anyway. You don't have to like it to be successful here. Just use it. And I promise you'll fall in love with it, okay? So the reason why I'm sharing this with you guys is this. Centralization, the Wizard of Oz. We're $34 trillion in debt. Come on, people. We're never going to be able to pay that back. Now, the question is, where did the money come from? So you got to know your history about the Federal Reserve Act of 1913. You have to know about 1971 when money was taken off the gold standard and money became just a fiat currency, right? It wasn't backed by anything but government decree. And the nature of money changed. It was no longer a store of value. That's when money became a currency. So like water has to move. So I have a pool in my backyard and I have a pump that moves water. If that pump's not moving water, then algae sets in, right? What happened in COVID when the world stopped? They had to do what? They gave stimulus checks. How did they create stimulus checks? They printed money out of thin air to get the economy moving again, to get money moving like water, like a currency. Make sense? So you have the Wizard of Oz, right? And then you have, politicians, then you have the other suits, and it's a pyramid structure. Because if all the $34 trillion is paid back, it's paid to them, then who do they owe $34 trillion to? Nobody. Because our financial infrastructure from top to bottom is a pyramid. Blockchain reverses that, inverts it, as we educate people about how they can rise up from the bottom by increasing their knowledge base, investing a little bit of time to learn what they need to learn, and then they're able to go ahead and write their own ticket financially. Hopefully you guys understand exactly what it is that we're sharing with you today. I wanted to cover that with you guys. What we're doing, team, is we work smart. We don't work hard here. Don't allow people to paint your world tiny. Don't allow people to overcomplicate this because they lack understanding, right? You use the three currencies that you now know you have at your disposal. Because once again, this is an exact science, and failure is impossible for anyone that uses it. They don't have to like it. They just have to use it. Make sense? So I wanted to share that with you guys here real quickly. And